Hi guys, welcome back to Scrapping Scotland. I'm the Scottish Scrapper, and today I'm going to be taking you through some best ways to strip out your copper wire. So when you're scrapping, the best thing in terms of scrapping is copper. Obviously if you can get precious metals it's even better, but scrapping copper is the kind of bread and butter of scrapping. So it's great to get brass, it's great to get copper, it's great to get aluminium, stainless steel as well. Steel itself is it's a lot of work for very little money back. So you try and get as much copper as possible. Now what I've got in terms of my setup is I have a little stripping machine where I actually stick all my copper wire through it. It's adjustable, and you can use various different sizes of wire to go through it, and it will strip it all out. It does have an attachment to it where you can attach your drill. I do have the drill attached to mine at the moment, which I'll show you, but actually normally I just pull it through manually. It gives you a little bit better control of the cut when it cuts through the wire itself. I bought mine off of wish.com. I think one of these sites that I think the items come from China or somewhere like that. So it can take a little bit of time for the order to come. But it was nice and cheap. It was only about £12, something like that. And it saves a lot of effort when you're stripping, because you do find when you're doing a lot of scrapping that you get a lot of wire, and you want to have a nice easy way to strip that's going to be not so labour intensive. So this is the way I do it. I'll give you a little bit of a demo in terms of how it's done. I'll give you a bit of a before and after, and just take you through that setup. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see, we've got a black bag there full of insulated wire, and this is various types of wire. Some wire comes from connections within computer motherboards to the power unit. Other ones are just straight power cords like this one. The best ones to actually pick up is like the lawnmower power cords. As you can see my lawnmower there, you can see the length of the power cord. It's very long, and therefore there's a good bit of copper in there. So you'll have probably 2 or 3 wires inside that, and you'll be able to strip that out. So if you can see in the end here, you usually have a green and a blue wire, and both of them contain copper. And obviously the PVC outer insulation is worthless. So it's you can sell this to the scrapyard. They will take it as insulated wire. I think there's a couple of different grades. Number 1, number 2. Obviously the thicker wire would be number 1. The not so thick wire would be number 2. And wire does come in various sizes and purity in terms of copper. Most wire that you'll see, household wire, obviously will be pure copper, but you do get wire, especially in things like motors, that are copper coated but actually aluminium wire. So you need to watch out for that. If you can see my aluminium pile that's sitting here, here's a great example of that. This wire here, as you can see, once it's cut open, it's bright silver, which means this is aluminium. Looks like copper, but isn't copper, it's aluminium. Okay, so that's something you just need to watch out for, especially when you're scrapping out motors. But wire, most of the wire you'll find will be pure copper. You do find that if you are scrapping the internals of electronics, that you do get quite a bit of it that is actually silver on the inside. Try to see if there's anything in here that I can grab to give an example. Nothing to hand, but so essentially, that's what you want to do. You want to strip it all out as much as possible. You get a lot more money back from it if you strip it, but as you can see, big pile like that to strip, it's going to take a bit of time, so you want to have an effective way of doing that. So this is my little wire stripper. As I say, not a big technical piece of kit, It's a nice easy tool. Has the drill attached to it. As you see, if you turn the drill, it will turn the cog, and if you've got obviously wire sitting through that, it should push the wire through. However, you do find that, you know, if you're doing thick copper wire, that it can get stuck because, you know, it's very kind of shapeable copper and it doesn't kind of sit nice and smooth to pull it through. So sometimes I just push it through here. As you can see, there's a blade there. Yeah, and that blade cuts into the PVC and strips the wire. Yeah, so that's how I do it. As you can see, you can adjust these. Then you can just adjust the thickness. There's little kind of nut bolts here. We loosen them off. We can widen this, or we can close it in, depending on the thickness of the wire that you want to strip. So I mean, like I say, it's a nice cheap little tool, but it saves a lot of labour trying to actually do this. You know, with a scalpel blade, which again you can do. You can run a scalpel blade down the wire. So this wire here is from jump leads. This is the black lead from the jump lead, and as you can see, contained within it, if I can focus on it, is lovely bright copper. Not focusing too well, but yeah, lovely bright copper wire in there. So you want to strip that out, you want to harness that, and that will give you a nice little weight of copper. Now again, with this, jump leads can be hit or miss. You know, you can get the pure copper ones like this. These are a really old set of jump leads, and they're good quality ones, so they do have pure copper wire right through it. They can be silver. If you look at some of them, they're silver. Usually it means it's copper inside of it and it's coated in aluminium or tin, and you actually do get pure aluminium wire running through some of this as well. Aluminium's still a good conductor of electricity, but yeah, obviously copper is the best, you know, when it comes to conducting electricity, other than likes of gold and silver as well, but obviously I'm not going to put gold through wire, so copper is the best wire to be pulling back and stripping, and obviously the one that's only really worth, you know, money anyway in terms of stripping it. If it does have silver, stick it in your wire pile, in your insulated wire pile, and just take it to the scrapyard as insulated wire, and you will get money back on that. Obviously not the same as copper. I think it's maybe something like £1.10, something like that, a kilo for insulated wire, whereas copper you're up to like about £5 a kilo. So it's a significant difference. So this wire, you know, how do we strip it? As we say, we put it through the stripper itself. Yeah, and I'll just put a little bit through so you can see. So it sits inside it. Now if I try and straighten out the wire at the back, let's try and run the drill, see if it works. It probably won't because it's too thick wire. Well, it's going through it a bit, yeah, it's not so bad. And then it gets stuck, okay? So when it gets stuck, normally I just get hands on, start pulling it through. Yeah, sometimes you have to adjust it, you can pull it back through. So sometimes, you know, I'll just loosen the nut. That allows you to lift the blade. I can pull it back, I can take the blade out, I can pull it back if it hasn't cut properly. As you can see, it's kind of stopped cutting there. We can put the blade back in, push down nice and tight on the blade, and then do up the wing nut. So he says doing it with one hand, which isn't easy. Okay, I will I'll pause it while I do this up. Okay, so ready to go again. Nice and further down now, you can see making a nice clean cut all the way through that copper wire. Well, through the insulation I should say, revealing our copper wire. Again, we want it nice and straight out the back so it's nice and easy to pull through. And what we'll do is we'll pull the rest of this through and we'll show you the end product. So that's all our wire pulled through the wire stripper. As you can see, nice and easy then to get it out. Now we just pull all that straight out, straight through. We'll pull that down all the way down till we get all the wire out. Okay, so there we are. There's the wire pulled out of the insulated PVC. Nice big chunk of copper, as you can see. Really nice. That's just obviously from one lead, and we'll bring in the one we've stripped from a second lead. So the good thing about this is that it is one wire. You're not having to strip it and then there's two wires inside it, which obviously you get with electrical cable. The jump leads is just, you know, one strip and you're into the copper. So as I say, with electrical power leads, you have to strip the outer PVC, then there's two internal wires with PVC insulating them as well, and you need to strip down both of them individually to actually recover your copper. So there's a little example of how I recover mine. As I say, big thick stuff will go through this one, the thinner stuff will go through this one, and it's adjustable. A little C-clamp holding it to my bench, and you know, a nice, easier, less thick wire, you should be able to put it through this, use a drill, and it should come through it nice and easy. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that little demo of wire stripping. If you can get your hands on old jump leads, then as you can see, there's a great bit of copper to be had on them. But equally, you know, all the copper wire builds up if indeed you are scrapping out electronics and taking the power cords. You'll soon find you have quite a bit of copper there to take to the scrappies. So thanks again for watching. You've been watching the Scottish Scrapper and Scrapping Scotland. See you next time.